Hi everyone, welcome back to Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. My name is Stacy. You're here for day number 12 of my Christmas in July series, and today we'll be making this burlap banner that I posted a video for and told you to go get it before it was gone. We're going to be using this up today, and along with this matte finished Mod Podge, okay? So what I've done is the first thing we need to do is to stabilize the fibers because these ravel quite a bunch. So what I'm doing is I've got one of these containers of Mod Podge in a cookie sheet, and I've got this filled about 3/4 of the way with water. And so I'm just shaking it up to clean out the bottle a little bit, and I'm going to water this down. And I have a silicone coated whisk that I'm just going to mix it together. I don't really need to coat this as heavily as I had in the first instructions I gave you when I told you to go get it. I figured out that thinner might actually work a little bit better. So I'm watering this down. That way I can just kind of dip it, and then I've got a plastic sheet on my desk behind me where I can lay it out to dry. Okay, so that is the first step, is to get your Mod Podge thinned out. I'm opening up the package and I'm taking out the string. We don't need to stabilize that. Now, for some reason, these keep getting weird things in them. I'm not quite sure why. So I'm going to test this just by laying it gently, and then I'm just going to work it with my hands. I'm not even going to worry about getting a brush in here. And I mainly want to get it around the edges, because that's where the raveling happens, is on the edge. If it ravels a little bit while you're working on it, that's okay, because you can trim it up after it dries. So I'm just going to put it here on the plastic to dry, and I'm thinking that might actually use a little more water. So that was about another quarter, so it's going to be pretty much diluted one to one. Come up with an easier way to do this. So what you're going to do is take one and lay it down in the mixture, and I did put a tiny bit more water in there. Pull up one that's dry, put the wet side of the dipped one next to the dry one, and squeeze them together. You're going to use a lot less glue this way. It is a little messy, but you know, crafting is messy sometimes. Okay, so you just kind of blot them together and then very carefully peel them apart. And if there's a spot that's dry, tap it back in and get it. And then you've got two pieces done at a time. The banner pieces have dried after being dipped in the Mod Podge mixture for stabilization. They're pretty solid now. They're more like a piece of cardstock, and they don't smell quite as bad as they did before. So I think they're good, that's going to be a good fix for that. So what I'm going to do is decorate this with reindeer, and I have cut out 8 reindeer, well actually 9 because you need Rudolph, from my Cricut, and this is from the Create a Critter cartridge, and he's the very last critter on the back of the book. So there is another reindeer on there that looks a little bit more like Bambi, but I wanted this one because I thought he was adorable. So they're going to be glued onto the center here to decorate my banner. I cut this at 3 inches on my Cricut. I could have gone bigger. I just was kind of experimenting with it, and I just kind of thought a little guy kind of looked cute, and I liked it. If you don't have a Cricut and don't have access to make a reindeer, you can use, if you have them, anything that's reindeer, like, or it doesn't have to be reindeer, it can be whatever you want to decorate it with. But the Dollar Tree often sells packages of 8 to 10 little plastic ornaments that are usually very glittered. You could paint those with some chalk paint to get rid of some of the glitter if you didn't like that, and glue those on there. It just needs to be something kind of flat. You could also use some stickers that you mount onto cardstock and then cut out, and you don't have to cut them out exactly the shape of the sticker. You can cut a medallion, or if you have a punch, you could punch out a scalloped edge circle around a sticker and do the exact same thing as this. So I'm going to show you how to decorate it with this cricket reindeer. And the first thing I need to do is glue all of my reindeers on. I've got them all going the same direction, and I've got Rudolph. He's going to be the leader. Santa has 8 reindeer and Rudolph to guide the way. You're going to find that in this Christmas in July series, I have a lot of banners and garlands and whatnot because I love having them around my house at Christmas time. I like being able to just decorate a dark corner or throw it over a hutch or something just to brighten up a space and do something cute for decoration. So I'm just going to center him, and I'm just eyeballing it. I am not worrying about it being perfect. And I'm trying to use enough glue, but not too much that it's going to bleed through the back of the burlap. Okay, so he's on there pretty good. So I'm just going to do that to the other 9, and I'm going to do that off camera. You don't need to watch me hot glue things together. I think you know how to do that. So I'll be back in a minute. Got all my reindeer glued on, and I did have to use a little piece of wax paper underneath when I was gluing to keep it off my desk because using a teeny bit of glue wasn't really working very well. It did bleed through just a tiny little bit, but it doesn't show that badly, so I'm not worried about it. So now I need to string my garland, and in between each banner, I am going to put a bell. Now, if you just bought one banner at the Dollar Tree, you're not going to be able to do this whole banner because it only comes with 7 pieces. I used 1.5 packages of banner things because I wanted to do all 8 reindeer and Rudolph. So hopefully you have gotten more than one and can do this. If not, just use the pieces that you have. I bought as many as they had because I didn't know what I wanted to do with them at that moment in time. Just do what you can with what you've got, and it'll be adorable no matter what. All right, I tried to string my banners and I'm having a hard time feeding the jute through without it snagging up. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my single hole punch, just a regular standard office punch, and I'm punching the holes. Now, you've already sealed it with the stabilizer, so this shouldn't hurt it. You do have to put a little effort into squeezing to get the hole to punch. It's not the easiest punch in the world, but that way you'll have a nice big hole and you'll be able to thread through it without snagging up your jute. Dollar Tree in their summer stuff has some nice luau banners. Let me go grab one of those. In their summer signs, the Dollar Tree has these really nice burlap signs. They spell out luau on them, and you can get them with either toucan birds or flamingos on the banner with it, but there's only 4, I think there's only 4 banners per package. Yeah, I think it's 4 banners and a couple of birds per package, but buy 2 or 3 of them and you'll have some nice sturdy. These are nice and already fixed. You don't have to dip them in the goop. So if you want an easier, more refined, less rustic take on it, go get these. Just peel off these letters carefully, and then you can use the back side to glue your things on. They are just hot glued on, and they do peel off pretty easy. Just go slow so you don't rip the letter. And see, the little bit of glue just kind of comes off on there. So that could be the back of your banner, and that would be just fine. And then decorate the back side. Okay, so that's another option if you weren't able to find these when I posted that Go Get It video, or if you just couldn't find them at all. So I like the rustic look, but I really do like those other summery ones, and I might go back and get some more of those if my Dollar Tree still has them. If you want those summer ones, you better go and get them though, because summer stuff is going fast at the Dollar Tree right now. Seems like once 4th of July hits, they really start stocking the fall things, and the summer stuff gets harder to find. Got all those punched, so it should be easier to thread my jute twine through. Let me clean off the mess a little bit. Okay, now I just got to find Rudolph in my stack because he's got to lead the way. There he is. All right, and like I said, I'm going to thread a jingle bell on. I can't wait for Michael's to get their Christmas hot buys in. I'm ready for some new paper to do some new paper crafts. People laugh at me because I get excited about Christmas way too early, they think. That's okay. Let them laugh. I have no idea how much string I need to put in this. I'm not using the string that came with the banners because I put extra pieces of banner in and I don't think the string will be long enough. So I'm just going with my regular spool of jute twine. Okay, there's my first jingle bell. I'm not worrying about tying it on. It's just a spacer. So there you go. Oh, I'm sorry. I realized I just did that one off camera. So I'm feeding from the back across the front. And I don't like to drag it through both holes when it's something rough like this because I don't want it to damage my jute. Jute and burlap just like to ravel too much. Okay, get up here, little bell. So there's the bell, and he's trying to be difficult, but there we go. There's the first piece. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and string the rest of these on, and then I'll come back and show you the finished project. Okay, I'm having a little bit of a difficulty getting this jute through the bells and whatnot, so I am very tightly wrapping a piece of tape around the edge just to kind of make like a needle per se to help feed it through. And I have had to stop a couple of times and trim off the end of my jute. So hopefully this will help with that. I've got all 8 of my little reindeer dudes strung on. You could put another jingle bell at each end if you wanted to, but I'm choosing not to. But I do need to tie a hanging loop. So what I'm going to do is double over my jute string and just tie a knot. That's a really big loop, but that's okay. Sometimes you need to go over a doorknob or over a bedpost or something larger than usual. So just go ahead and tie that off. Make sure it's good and tight and clip off your edge. Then go over to the spool side and do the same thing. Try to make the ends somewhat similar. You can measure them up if you need to. Wow, I was way off on that one. I just usually match the ends together and loop up around and try to make the loops about the same size. Tie a knot and clip off the extra. Alright, I'm going to hang this up so you can see a picture of what it looks like all done. Here's my banner all finished up. I'm sorry that my camera doesn't have a good zoom in lens on it so I can show it to you up close, but that's about the best I can do with my camera situation right now. I hope that you've enjoyed this project. If you do, give it a big thumbs up. That really helps my channel out. And if you have not subscribed, be sure to do so and click the little notification bell next to the subscribe bar so that you get notified for each time I upload a new video. Like I said, this is day number 12 of Christmas in July. I'll be back again tomorrow for day number 13. I hope that you will go out and try making this banner for yourself. This has been Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.